Logistically or emotionally, what was the most challenging scene?
The most challenging scene in this film, there's a scene between, the stories about a woman or a guy who's falsely accused of a crime he did not commit, and yet the person who accuses him, to me, is not the antagonist of the book or the film. And so there is a scene, very delicate scene, between Emily Rios and Regina King, where this woman who's falsely accused this man of this thing he did not do, and the mother who's trying to absolve him of that crime, they hash it out. And it was just really delicate subject matter that they're dealing with. And it was traumatic for everyone, especially the actors. That was very, 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 very tough. Yeah.
Emotionally, and actually there was some logistic stuff, like some camera stuff wasn't working out that day. It's a scene where Fonnie just gets really upset with me after we leave a grocery store. That was a tough night. Yeah.
What do you think the biggest change was from the first iteration of the script to the one that we see on screen?
Probably like the linearity. The book is non-linear, the film was non-linear. And so it was about trying to build the best collection of scenes that could add to the most effective visual experience. Is different than reading the book. And so I think finding the structure was very, very complicated and complex. And we ultimately ended up with something that's just left of center of what's in the book. Not thematically, but just structurally.
Sure. What do you find appealing about adapting material?
It's funny, I didn't never think of myself as the adaptation guy, but my first job in film, she's here, I hear all the clicks going off. My first job out of school was working for Harpo Films, which specializes in adaptations. And Ms. Winfrey's mission was to create these adaptations to get people to take more interest in the literature. And I didn't realize it, but it was a great training ground. I have a degree in film and one in creative writing. So the mix of literature and film has always been a part of my work. And so now that I've been doing them, especially with these last two films, I think as a visual person, it's great to have the story have a solid foundation. There's still writing that has to be done, but it's nice to work from a foundation and completely just free the visual part of myself.
What character do you admire most, and why?
In this film?
Yes. In life.
I know. The character Sharon, played by Regina King, she plays the mother figure in the film, and it's just amazing to see someone who just carries so much weight, protects the family, protects everyone, but then she has to go on this mission, and she allows herself to be vulnerable, because I think a lot of these women, I'll say in my life, have to be superwoman all the time, and they very rarely get a chance to take a moment and allow whatever cracks there are to actually bleed and fester, because I think that's a part of growth as well. So I think that character would definitely be my favorite, or the one I feel most inspired by in the film.
What do I admire most about my character? She's just so sweet, which at first I thought would be something. I'm like, oh my goodness, she's just got this sweetness and tenderness and all this, but that's actually the thing that I love the most about Tish.
How do you define personal success now, and has that changed from earlier in your career?
I think personal success, I'm realizing now, is all about time. When I can take control of what I'm doing with my time, I feel very successful. I don't feel that way very often, because I often feel like there's not enough time. But I think it's the only thing we can't get back. So I'm trying to get better about really recognizing what I'm doing with my time and being okay with what I'm doing with my time, being satisfied with how I use my time.
Honestly, the first thing that popped in my head, for me, is just making sure that I'm being a good role model for my nieces and nephews, whatever that looks like. And so right now, it's just the fact that I'm pursuing my dreams, and if that can encourage them to do the same, then that's success to me.
Who are some of your role models?
My mama, that's my number one role model. And then in terms of acting in the arts, Will Smith, Viola, Lupita, Angela, just all those. Regina. No, Regina. No, what I learned from her. I took so much away from working with Regina King that will stay with me for the rest of my career. I am so blessed to have worked with her on this film.
My last question is, growing up, who was your favorite fictional character?
Okay, first thing that popped in my head, Simba from The Lion King.
Really? Can you unpack that a tiny bit?
I just love The Lion King. He just was fun and, I don't know, living his best life, breaking some rules, but, he became a great king.
This is true. A powerful leader.
Yes, he did.
Well, thank you so much. Congrats on the film.
Thank you.